So when I made my running back rankings heading into the draft, DeWayne McBride was actually my number 2 overall running back. I had him above Gibbs, who ended up going number 12 overall. Did not have him above Bijan Robinson, of course, because everyone had Bijan Robinson as number 1. But I really like McBride's game a lot, and maybe you might think that's just very hot takey to have him as running back 2, but, you know, I would like to say that I have at least some history of my hot takes at the running back position proving to be correct. I had Dameon Pierce as my number 1 running back last year, and I think that he, you know, there's a debate as to whether or not he's number 1, but certainly you would feel pretty good about having him on your team for sure, and probably should have gone before round 4. DeWayne McBride, though, might not live up to the hype that I have put on him, as he ends up going in round 7, so, which was a surprise. He was projected to be kind of around where Pierce went, around like sort of a 4th rounder-ish player, ends up falling all the way to round 7. A lot of times guys who go round 7, they end up being kind of, you know, oftentimes just special teamers, and I hope that's not all that the Vikings see in DeWayne McBride. And again, they don't need a running back. They have Dalvin Cook and they have Alexander Mattison, although of course, you know, you can never have too many running backs, right? So what happened here? I want to talk about the film. I want to talk a lot about McBride as a player. But, you know, first I wanted to say this is kind of maybe a little bit my argument of why I think that you shouldn't draft running backs in the first round, is you can get pretty quality running backs even undrafted, right? James Robinson was undrafted, and that's an example. I mean, again, that he's the exception. Not every undrafted running back ends up having 1,000 yards their rookie season. In fact, I think he's the only one who did. But still, you can get quality running backs later on, and it's something that I think that you know, a lot of teams should do more of. And I know the Vikings are a bit of an analytically inclined team, at least they have been since they hired their new GM. So is this a scenario where perhaps they will, you know, is this just their strategy of draft running backs later on now? Because, you know, sure you have Dalvin Cook, but he's not going to play forever. And could McBride eventually be, you know, a 3rd string option that becomes a 2nd string, that becomes a 1st string type of situation? Again, Isaiah Pacheco last year was a 7th rounder, and he ended up being a very productive player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they didn't think he would be their starter heading into that season. It just worked out that way, although, again, they didn't have a Dalvin Cook type player. So that's kind of what I think about the fit and about the strategy in general of drafting a running back in round 7. But now let's talk about the running back that they drafted in round 7. Let's just get into the player himself. These are DeWayne McBride's PFF numbers, and they're very impressive. A 94.1 grade is fantastic. Now, you know, 204 carries in 2021, still a very good grade. Had a above 90 grade in 2020, but on just 47 carries. So I don't know how much you care about that. But even like the, you know, the stats on the right, you see that little dot is all the way over to the right, which means it's good on all 4 of those categories. You know, the numbers are great. What does that mean? Honestly, not a lot, right? Plenty of running backs have really good PFF grades and end up not working out at the NFL level. It is not something I really pay attention to when I do my evaluation of running backs. So just, you know, I'll give it to you if you're interested in it. Personally, though, for me, I haven't seen evidence to support that PFF grades matter when it comes to running back evaluations. It does matter for other positions, but what I care about more is tape. So let's watch the tape. And I think the tape is just as impressive, actually. So let's start off with this play. It's an interesting play. So here's the blocking concept that you see on the screen. McBride is going to take the handoff. Actually, to the quarterback's left is where he's going to take the handoff. Watch how when it begins, you see this situation right here. There is a bit of a gap that he can run through. And what I really like about him is kind of 2 things. I think he's very explosive and he falls forward. And I think we're going to see both of those on this play, where watch what happens. Watch how he's explosive enough to get near the goal line, and then when there's contact, he's strong enough to get through and get into the end zone for a touchdown. This is the kind of stuff that McBride does consistently and did consistently at UAB, which again, low level of competition, which is part of why I wanted to make sure I picked the game where he was going up against a higher level of competition against LSU. You know, definitely there were some examples of him beating up on lesser backs, or lesser defenses, I mean, but there were times when he was just looking awesome too, even against good defenses. Like something like this is a great example of what he did consistently in college, where what's going to happen is you see that LSU player right there, and watch what he's going to do. Watch how when this play begins, you see him do a great job at moving in, shedding that block, and getting in position to tackle McBride. And, you know, spoiler alert, McBride is going to get tackled here, but not immediately. I mean, you think right here, okay, he's going to go down for a loss of yards. Watch what he does. Watch him get around that one and really just fall forward and turn what should have been a loss of yards into about a gain of 4 or 5 on that play. That's a great play. And when we talk about what is a running back's value, a lot of times this is the running back's value. Turning a -2 play into a +5 play completely works, because the whole point of running the ball on first down like this is to make it easier for second and third downs. So if you do that and you're able to pick up 5 yards, well, now you are, mission accomplished. Whereas the opposite, if you lose yards, well, now you're just in a really difficult situation to try and get the next couple plays. So this is a running back's value. How valuable are they? I'll let you be the judge, but this is where they can be valuable, and he was certainly very valuable in college. Like, watch, this is another play where what you're going to see on this one is, again, a really good defensive play, or you could say, subpar blocking. I'll let you be the judge. But you see that LSU player right there. Watch how when this play begins, he's able to get through untouched, really, until he gets to DeWayne McBride in perfect position to make a tackle. But again, look at this stuff from McBride. Look at how he gets out of that and gets around another tackle. Still gets tackled for a loss, but, kind of reminds me sometimes a bit of, like, Saquon Barkley's rookie year with the Giants, of how he'd have these incredible -2-yard runs because of how bad they should have been. That's kind of what we saw a little bit with McBride at times, was him completely getting out of trouble. Like, this play is another one where, I'm not even going to, highlight what's going on. Just, I'll, start to play and let you see what happens. Watch how when McBride gets the ball, you see that, again, there is a defensive player who's right in position to try and make a tackle. But just watch how explosive McBride is here. Watch him just run right by him and is shifty enough that he's able to get through, even breaks a tackle, and again, falls forward. These are all, this is just what he does consistently in college, and I think he'll do it in the NFL really well. I really do. Like, I don't really have, I don't really understand fully why he's a lot lower than some other players are, because I really like him a lot, to be honest. I think part of what gets held against him is the fact that he, didn't have the highest degree of competition. He doesn't have the best long speed, although, like I said, very explosive. And he's not really much of a receiving back, although he can block, which is important. So to me, I just think that he's a great runner. He just falls forward. He picks his gaps so well. He's shifty and he's strong. That's, and he's explosive. What else could you ask for out of a running back? I guess he could be a better receiver, but who knows? Maybe you can teach that stuff as well. I really like McBride, but yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.